Party with your host, Dustin Rybka.
Hello and welcome to Sex Party. I'm your host, Dustin Rybka. With me on the show this week is adult star and OnlyFans creator, Krystal Sparks. Krystal is a sexual deviant. Just like most of us around these parts, she's a freakier individual, just like most of us here, right? And we talk about how she wasn't really able to let her freak flag fly until she met a partner who was into the lifestyle, into swinging, into hot wifing, into sex parties, into all of those things. Now, her experiences in the orgy room at a sex club led to all sorts of fantasies. She was able to then go and sort of act out, having sex with multiple men in front of her husband, doing all sorts of stuff that she never thought she would actually be able to do, how that led to OnlyFans and how that led to the mainstream adult industry. This is a wild episode. Who am I kidding? They're all wild, but this one's a lot of fun. You guys are going to love Krystal. So without further ado, please enjoy my conversation with Krystal Sparks.
This week's conversation.
Krystal Sparks, welcome to Sex Party. How are you doing?
Doing quite well, thank you.
Yeah.
How are you?
Well, you know, we talked a little bit before we started recording, and in all transparency for the audience, you and I are both running on like a handful of, you know, snacks. You had said you had combos. I had some pretzels. I'm drinking my second espresso of the day because it's like, what's happening? That's how I am.
Oh, the world is spinning faster and faster. What can we do?
Yeah. It's speeding up and porn must go on. And
Yes.
yeah.
Yes, it must.
So people tuning in, they're like, what's this fucking fool up to this week? They're talking about me, not you. Obviously. And so let's just say people, you know, they don't know who you are, right? I would imagine, a large part of the audience does know who you are because, you know, you're Krystal Sparks and you're on the show and you're sharing this probably on your Instagram in the future, whatever, hopefully. And so they know. But for the people who don't know, could you talk a little bit about who you are and what you do?
Yeah. So my name is Krystal Sparks and I work in porn. Usually I fall in the MILF category, so I love that. And besides the MILF stuff, I do like hot wife stuff. So and a lot of my fans who followed me from the beginning, that's what they would know me from is fucking men in front of my husband.
Okay, and we are I don't want to do the origin story right from the beginning, but we'll get to it. But what I do want to start with is like you're an OnlyFans creator, you're a mainstream adult star, you're a hot wife, you know, you're doing all the things. So what does a typical day in your life look like? And that can vary, and I know that, but you pick what a day would look like.
What a day.
Yeah. And you tell us what a typical day would look like in your life.
Oh gosh. Okay. So, typical day, I wake up at 5:30. I do have older, grown offspring. So, I'm a real life MILF too. So I wake up at 5:30 in the morning. I make sure they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. I eat my breakfast before I go to the gym because if I don't have that protein, then I will feel sick. Usually it ends up being in the form of a protein shake.
Yeah.
Because I'm on the go. And so I head off to the gym and then I come back to the house and I have over 250 house plants. So I have to keep up with those or they'll die and it'll be a huge waste of money.
Yeah.
So I usually spend about an hour doing that. And then I go through emails and, what content I'm supposed to make for different fans, per their requests, stuff like that. And yeah, it's just that all day until I'm picking up the house, going to the grocery store, making dinner, and starting it all over. So unless I have a shoot, and then
Yeah. Well, I mean, content wise, and that was the diamond in there that now we got that, right? So you're doing content daily. You don't have just like certain days set aside, or are you doing it every day? You're banging out the content.
oh no, it's not every day.
Okay.
That is my plan every day. But sometimes, a
Yeah.
wrench gets thrown in there and I have to push it off to the next day. So it really all, it's kind of, we'll play it as it comes along in our
Sure. Yeah.
lives, I
Yeah.
feel. But
Yeah.
I do have a checklist, weekly, monthly, of things I need to get done daily. And so sometimes they get pushed on to the next day, but I try not to do that.
Yeah, I mean, the busyness happens to all of us, right? So we like, God damn it, I should have fucking edited that next episode. I should have done that masturbation video with the fucking hentai fucking whatever. People have a to-do list, and yours is probably more exciting.
Can be a little on the strange side, but yes, mostly exciting.
Yeah. And see, you're like the perfect, we are so aligned. This is crazy. Like we're eating the same snacks, we're drinking caffeine. And you're perfectly transitioning for me, so I don't have to. So when you say strange, and again, you or I are not yucking anyone's yum, but strange,
No.
Strange can be fun, but it also can be strange, and more power to whoever, but like whatever. What are some of the stranger or strangest requests that you're getting on OnlyFans?
Well, first, I would say they seem to really like, not so much when I make like masturbation solo videos, whatever, or even the hot wife stuff. They really like it when I get dildos that are way too big for me. And I don't know if they're laughing or jerking off while they're watching it. But they really love that. Strange, and like, so to me, I'm like, well, okay, you guys want to see me make a fool of myself? Let's do it. But I would say the strange ones that I don't do is anything that involves poo. I get requests, me filming myself on the toilet, using the restroom,
Mhm.
not doing anything sexual, just
On the
going to
toilet.
the bathroom.
Yeah.
And yeah, I say all the time, I have nothing on my no list really, but I draw the line at poo. So I don't know.
So what about pee? Are you doing like piss content stuff? Are you down for that?
I'm totally down for that. I think I did one video though with that. OnlyFans, they confuse me. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'll do something one time and it's perfectly fine, and then I'll do it again, and they're like, if you do this again, we're banning you. I'm like, what? What? So, it's actually, I'd say OnlyFans is my most vanilla, you know, the most vanilla place I put any of my content. Mini vids, I'm also on there, and they don't give me such a hard time.
Yeah,
So,
I've heard that well, first of all, and here I am like wearing an OnlyFans. I just realized I'm actually wearing an OnlyFans sweatshirt. Whoops. But no, I mean we love OnlyFans, yes,
we
yes,
do.
yes, but they are very restrictive. I don't know when they sort of modeled their user agreements and their policy after Meta. But listen, Mark Zuckerberg's not a fucking great guy to follow, so let's not do that. But you can't even use certain words. You can't even say gangbang
Yeah.
on OnlyFans.
Or I go to the Red Rooster Swingers Club a lot. And so that's where my husband and I started all this stuff out. But so my face is on the posters and blah 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 around there. I show up every now and then, and everyone's like, "Oh, Krystal Sparks!" I'm like, "Hi." But they I'll meet someone there, like a fan will be there, and
Mhm.
I'll introduce, take a picture, whatnot. If they even message me saying it was nice meeting you,
Oh no.
that right there, I'm like, oh, I have to try and tell them in code, like, go find me somewhere else and say
Yeah.
that. You're going to get me in trouble. But it's not that. They'll still ding me. It's not, and I'm not planning to meet up with them, but
Sure.
they see that one word,
God.
and that's all they, but unfortunately, that's just the territory of using so many computers for things, because
Yeah.
they're just taught to see that word and say, nope, that's not allowed, versus a person reading it and be like, okay, that's different. So
Yeah, I mean,
whatever.
you would think that all of these technology companies would actually be smart and realize, that all this fucking AI that everyone's fighting over, you think it would actually be smart. It's not, and none of it
Yeah.
is. It's all a big fuck
Yeah.
around. And
Hopefully it gets better. It's
y-
still new.
yeah, we'll see. We'll see. And
Hopefully.
I hope so too. But I have heard that like Fansly, loyal fans, they're way more like lax. They're way more. I don't know. I guess you could probably say the word meat or gangbang over there,
Yeah.
probably, and whatever. And they seem to be very proud of that, which I love. And
Yes.
they're always at the adult conventions. And OnlyFans is nowhere to be found at the adult conventions.
Yeah. It's
They
true.
they're happy to take the fucking $8 billion they make off sex creators and then not promote sex creators at all. So even though I'm wearing your hoodie OnlyFans, I see you. I see you
We all
taking
see
advantage of sex
you.
workers like everyone's taken advantage of sex workers the entire history of the world. I see you
Yeah,
OnlyFans.
it's true. Making that
Yeah.
money.
Yeah. So is the most common thing you're getting hit up for on any of those platforms? Is it like giant, like, hey, we want to see you fuck a giant dinosaur dildo or like whatever? Or is there something else that they ask for constantly?
I get that. I get that quite often, but no, I'd say the main one is probably the main request I've gotten lately, which I haven't done yet, is working with a much younger woman doing the whole stepmom, stepdaughter thing on my
Mm-hmm.
OnlyFans. And I guess I do that so much in my professional life. I don't know. I kind of have liked to keep my OnlyFans with the hot wife stuff, which is what I started with, but I don't know. We'll see. It'll probably venture over in something else. But no, I'd say my most common request is writing something while I'm like doing POV kind of with the camera and saying their name like I'd say that's my most common. Say my name.
Yeah.
I love it when you say my name. Squirt all over the camera. I want to pretend you're squirting on my face, things like that. They like the POV stuff.
Yeah. I mean, that makes sense. I mean, they want it personalized and whatever.
Yeah. And it
Are
costs
you?
extra money, so.
Yeah, of course. I mean, are you one of these creators who has like a set price that they do for that, or do you negotiate pricing with them?
It really depends. I mean, I have this one guy who just requests like 2-minute videos and
Right.
like, okay, well, something like that, $50. Now, if you want me to do a 30-minute video and you want me to check off all these boxes, well,
Yeah.
then depending on what you want me to do, that price is going to go up. So,
Yeah.
just like with dick ratings, I guess, the more detailed they are, the more
Okay.
expensive they are.
So tell me about dick ratings. I've never, and actually, this is great because I've never talked about this on the show because I'm just not this does size matter show, and I'm not going to ask you that question because I refuse because I think it's fucking. I just think it's fucking stupid. Like
it is kind of.
it's so fucking stupid. Like whatever dick size you have, just own that shit. Like just
Yes.
whatever. Who gives a shit?
Oh,
Anyway,
we could go into that for
Yeah.
sure. But I agree with you. Yes.
Right.
Everyone's different.
Yeah, and look, it's whatever, but there's all sorts of other things you should be concerned with besides the whatever, and that's it is what it is. But I'm not the does size matter show. I hate that fucking question. I think it's like just dumb. So whatever. But like dick ratings, like I see that so much, right? I see these like, oh, dude, dick rating, whatever. I mean, how honest are you with the dick rating?
I mean, I'm pretty honest. I haven't seen many cocks that are like ugly.
Mm-hmm.
But no one sent me any pictures of like micro penises. And I would think that if someone sent me a picture like of an inverted or micro penis, that they're wanting me to say something bad.
Yeah.
Like, the guys who, oh, you have such a small dick. Like, what are you going to do with that tiny little, like
Yeah.
they, giving stuff away for free here. But, but I assume that's what, but I haven't experienced that. It's usually guys with either giant cocks or they have like average sized cocks. I would say that it's mostly pretty average, so I can be honest. Now, if it's huge, of course, I'd be like, whoa, there's no way I'd be able to fit that in my pussy. Like, holy shit, man. You get a workout every time you.
Where'd you get that? Yeah.
Where you get that from? Tell your dad thanks. Whatever. But usually it's just average, and I'm a very average type of woman. I'm a very petite woman, so
Right.
uh, average excites me, and maybe that's why I'm so popular with it. Because a lot of guys with average cocks, they just think, "Oh, I just have an average cock," and it's like you can still, like you said, kind of, you can still have an average cock and it be an amazing cock. Like,
I just think that fucking like I don't know who brain. I mean, it's so weird. Like like
porn,
yeah. It's
porn.
well but I think when you grow up. In fucking junior high and high school, it's like the only fucking thing. It's like, oh, my dad. It's like I left that shit in fucking junior high. Like I don't fucking want. And when I started a sex podcast, I was like, I'm not. We're not doing the does size. I'm not the does size matter. What's the perfect? Who gives a fucking flying shit? Like that's where I'm at with it. And I'm sure the audience, is either pissed at me or they're like right on. But yo,
Yeah,
work
they're
with what
probably
you
tired
gotta
of hearing
give.
about it too.
Yeah, who gives a fuck? Like, just fucking go start a business or something and get women that way or whatever the fuck. It just doesn't matter,
like the stores with the extra large clothing for men, but it can be like a store for extra large cocks. Like, is that what you mean?
I just
Someone needs to do it.
yeah,
Someone
sure.
needs to do it. There's
Yeah.
an idea that's not being filled.
Or like if you feel like that's your only claim to like greatness in this world, yeah, I hope that you could find
You should find something else to do.
or just like find a good therapist. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yes,
Because
that's true.
whatever. Yeah, it's just fucking it's fucking crazy. Have you ever gotten something on OnlyFans or any of those other platforms where you're like, I mean, besides like them asking you to like shit in a bag or whatever the fuck, like, like besides that, are you, cause it's weird, right? People are like, they're very specific and we love that. Right. But like, if someone's like, I want you to go to McDonald's, I want you to get a bag from McDonald's and shit in it or whatever. It's like, whatever. Besides those kinds of like shit requests, have you ever gotten
Right.
something that was so sort of out there or so detailed where you're like, I'm out. I can't do it.
I have I I would have to seriously think about that. Was like a couple years ago, and it was so, you said, so detailed, and it kind of
Yeah.
brought it back to me. There's very little that I won't do, I'm a very non-judgmental, and I'm very open sexually.
Mhm.
So I don't look at too much like it's weird, and I don't think it was exactly just weird so much as it was just detailed. Like he's like, I want you to do this and this and this and this and this and this. I'm like, dude, I don't have fucking time for this. This is going to be like $1,000. And you're like, what?
Yeah.
Get
Yeah.
a, I'm sorry. That's kind of mean to say get a life, but what are you doing? But, yeah, if it's super, super specific, I don't have time for that. I'll
Right.
say your name. I'll squirt. I'll do, all those things. But
Mhm.
if you want me to do an hour of activities,
Right.
let's do FaceTime. Like,
Right.
I can't.
Yeah.
I'm not going to make a damn list for you. But yeah, I can't really think of anything. My fans are all pretty amazing. I would I would say most of all, my biggest time waster is people saying, hi, why won't you? And that's all they say. And then, why won't you message me? I want you to message me. Why aren't you messaging me? And those are the people that get, ignored on my page. But my fans, I love them all. I would probably do mostly anything for them. It's legal.
Well, yeah, of course. Yeah, you can't help them dispose of any bodies or anything. So,
Yeah, I've heard
um,
of some weird shit from
mhm.
people, but but I don't get many. It's either really disgusting or
Yeah,
strangely specific.
yeah. Is there any kind of request that you want to get more of?
I kind of have my own requests, but I have done it in the past. I just haven't done it so much lately. I love MWM, like the two guys and one girl. That's
Yeah.
my absolute favorite. And and I get a lot of requests for that, but they all now want them to be younger men.
Oh,
Like
okay.
again, my stepsons. And
Yeah.
so I guess I'll probably eventually end up doing it. It's just I want my OnlyFans to be different than my professional
Sure.
life. And
Yeah.
maybe that's unrealistic. Like I'm still kind of new in the game. This is only my third year in
Hmm.
professionally. So, I mean, I know everyone else does the same thing everywhere, but I want my OnlyFans to be hot wife stuff. I want it to be fun and what turns me on,
Right.
as much as I love all of my stepsons out there. That's all they have me doing. So
Yeah, I
I
think
want to spread my wings a little.
there's a reason. Yeah, I think that it's always like number one, like or like in the top five in Pornhub, right? Like fucking stepson, stepsister, MILF, all that shit is always going to be there and whatever. And I think we are, and I'm glad that porn allows an outlet to like bang your sister, because that way, it's sort of like you get to scratch that taboo itch,
Yeah.
and so do you like doing that kind of content, or you're just kind of like not so much about it? Because
I don't mind it at all.
okay.
I have worked with some people that maybe they're playing a stepmom with me, like they're my best friend, and we're like swapping sons or whatever that is.
Yeah, yeah.
And she actually has like a boy, like a son. And so that's the only time I ever hear where performers are like, oh, this is kind of getting weird, like it's getting personal, blah, blah. And I'm like, remember, we're just acting. You're not really fucking your son. Like it's all okay. Does
Yeah.
he look anything like him? No? Okay, we're good. Like, I don't know. But yeah,
Yeah.
I don't mind doing it. I'm a bit of a deviant myself. Oh, I get turned on, I guess, mostly by things you're not supposed to get turned on by.
You're in the right
And
place.
yeah, and I am I guess you could say sexually like a man pleaser. I'm very submissive. So when it comes to men, um, so I get a lot of that shooting,
Hmm.
even if it is my stepson, because a lot of
Sure.
times, we get started and then the stepson and going at it. So in my head, I'm just having good sex. So
Yeah.
it doesn't get to me.
Well, I mean, we asked this question a lot because we've had a lot of the mom swap performers on, and I hopefully like at this point in the future, whenever this airs, like famously have said, I want a mom swap hoodie to wear to the fucking Exotica or whatever, just to flip people out a little bit, because they don't. And so I actually said it online, and Team Skeet responded, said, "We got you." So they're supposed to be sending something. So we'll see. But the mom swap thing, and we talked about it a lot, is like you'll start out doing, each other's stepsons, but then something will happen. Something will happen.
Like
Yeah,
balloons.
that was really weird. Something will happen, and then the moms will swap sons back, so they're kind of banging their own stepson or whatever. So, do you allow yourself to get into the actual character and let that deviant side of you like be turned on by that acting that out?
100%.
Yeah.
I like to, I'm kind of, well, in order for me to do it, I know I'm not exactly a method actor, but I
Right.
do take it a little seriously. Like, I find the cheesy porn acting, like, if that's their thing, like Team
Hmm.
Skeet, they're very cheesy and, oh my God.
Yeah.
But if I ever get the opportunity to be a little more serious with the acting, I take advantage of it. And so yes, 100% try and put myself in that role. But then I never want to do anything that I don't want to do. And so I feel like if I wasn't having actual fun with it, I shouldn't be doing it. So
Yeah.
yeah, I do. I let my freak flag fly a little bit
No, I
in
love
my
that.
head.
Yeah. Yeah, because I think you could tell when someone, a performer is in the character, and when they're just like, trying to get the scene over with, or
Yeah.
whatever. And in those, whether it's pure taboo and it's like some crazy manipulation thing, or it's Team Skeet, which is a little more like, fun. Yeah, he's like, oh
Yes.
no, my
Oh,
accidentally came inside, my stepmom or whatever, right? Like either
when did your
way,
cock get so big?
yeah. There are those intricacies that are what psychologically end up turning people on. And so I think that, you perfectly, worded it when saying like you do enjoy that. You're then playing into that, and then the scene's more successful, and it's like, oh my God, have you seen this scene or whatever? So I love
Yeah.
that. You said you're a deviant. We love that here. I am a fellow deviant. I think most of the audience is either a deviant, or they're just listening to want to be a deviant, to get in touch with their deviant side. So
Yes.
what other deviant things you're not supposed to do? What other deviant things turn you on?
Oh, well, let's see. I do like the whole faux cest thing. I'm not necessarily, though. Unfortunately, I got placed in the MILF category for that. My age, of course. I have no problem with that. I love playing a hot MILF. Um, but I do like older men.
Okay.
So I don't necessarily know, like I've never had any fantasy of fucking my dad, but I do, but when I look up I mean, I guess you could look up age play now.
Sure.
But I don't necessarily want to have sex with like an 80-year-old man. But I'm 37, so 50s and 60s. Oh, so hot. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, I do love the whole like pee thing. That turns me on. I know that some people don't like it, but I've had a guy pee in my mouth, all over my face and my body. We were in the shower, so that was, I feel like, cheating. But I don't know if I'd want to do it on a bed.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of
I don't
a
want the bed.
kind of a hack. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, just, gosh, I really think just about anything except for poop. I don't like the poop thing.
Yeah.
If it turns the man on, that I'm messing around with,
Yeah.
it turns me on.
Okay. So
So
yeah. So like you are like you said, like a man pleaser. Like the compersion aspect of like seeing them have pleasure is what turns you on. Yeah.
it turns me on.
Yeah.
Yes. When men ask me like, what can I do for you? What can I do for you? I'm like, make yourself happy, because like that's what turns me on, really. I can't,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. Yeah. That's awesome. And I love that, because again, you can tell when someone's like really in it to win it, and they're like
Yeah.
speaking from the heart, like you are right now, about what turns you on. And when someone's, and I'm not saying like, I mean, listen, like I am so picky with who I have on this show, and we always are like truly gifted with the best guests, and a large in part thanks to Erica Icon at the Rub PR. And she's, we love Erica. Shout out to Erica.
Yes.
And she sent these amazing notes, right? And in the notes it does
Oh boy.
say that you were a vitamin specialist for a biochemist, and
Okay.
you were a hot wife enjoying the swinger lifestyle, who loved sex and exhibitionism. So far all tracks, but let's go back, halfway through the episode, right? Let's go into that origin story a little bit. Like, explain to people what your life was like before porn, before OnlyFans. Explain to them what hot wifing is, so the swinger, like, tell us where you were at and how you got started in all of it.
Oh boy. Okay. So long story short, I was raised by a very, very strict Christian household, parents. We did not talk about sex at all, ever, unless it just wasn't acceptable, and sex itself wasn't acceptable unless it was with a spouse for the reason of procreation. And So that's just a little bit, and I'll tie that together with something interesting I just found out about myself. But yeah, so when I was about 26, I decided this is bullshit. I really like sex, and I have all these like freaky thoughts that turn me on, but they're bad, like you're not supposed to have them. But I still wanted to get to know myself more sexually. So I met this girl who was a cam girl, and she like introduced me to it and was like, oh, well, this is a safe way, for you to experiment a little bit. So I started doing that. I was like 26. I only did that for like a year, I guess, not too long. And then a few years later, I met my now husband, um, who was in the lifestyle. He had been for like 20 years, and he's about 14 years older than me. So I live my truth. But and he just, like, when we were having sex and getting to know each other, he would ask me like, what are your deepest, darkest fantasies? And I would just kind of like laugh and like, you don't want to know what, like, I would never share that with anyone. And he just kind of made me feel like it was okay. Like, he wouldn't judge me no matter what. And as we kind of got to know each other a little better, I would find out like, oh, you're a little bit of a fucking freak too. Like, okay, maybe I am okay with this. And we started going to clubs and stuff like that, lifestyle clubs.
And you'd never
And
done that before?
never,
Okay.
never. Oh God, I was so scared when I first walked into one. I was so scared and shy. I thought I was just going to walk in and it was just going to be a massive, like, crazy orgy going on all around me. And someone was going to grab my arm and pull me in, and I was going to be stuck in all these decks and like, oh, I'm not ready for this. I walked in and it was more like a bar.
Sure.
There was a dance floor DJ. It was more like a social club. So going there a few times, I got a little more comfortable, and they had an orgy room there. And my boyfriend at the time, he talked me into going in there and giving him a blowjob. And he's like, well, a few people might be in there, but they're not allowed to come up and touch. They're not allowed to do anything without you telling them to. And so I was like, okay. So then I did that, and I got so fucking wet and turned on. I remember at one time, like, he was telling me, he's like, just look at me. It's just you and I. It's just you. Cause he could tell I was
Sure,
nervous.
yeah.
And I kind of looked up at one point in time, and the whole room was filled with. And then I kind of had started having the fantasy where these random guys, I had no idea who they were just coming up and, pleasing me, and I was pleasing them. It just kind of in my head turned into this orgy,
Yeah.
which now is my life. But so after like doing those things, we went to Palm Springs. We would, go to Vegas, different places. And I just got more and more comfortable the more often I did it. So I did work for the biochemist for about 4 years. That was after I was in the military too. So,
Oh, wow.
very normal life up until I moved to Las Vegas. And so yeah, I worked with a biochemist. COVID hit. My husband now, he was like, hey, have you heard of this OnlyFans thing? And I was like, yeah, everybody's talking about it. How could I not? And he's like, well, how about we just like make an account, and you can, put whatever videos you want on there, if you fucking other guys if you want, or if you just sucking my cock or whatever. I was like,
Sure.
okay. So then we kind of dabbled in that a little bit. I loved it. Super, super fucking hot. Again, exhibitionist, like, even on professional sets when the director is filming, I know he's watching me. Like, that turns me on. I know hundreds, thousands of people are, I'm going to hit the lamp, knock it over. People are watching me. So that turns me on. So yeah, anyways, OnlyFans. And then about a year later, after COVID lockdown ended, I was introduced to Sandra with OC Modeling, and she said she would love to be my agent. And I looked at my husband and I said, are you sure you want to do this? Because before then, up until then, I guess, anytime we made any content for OnlyFans or played or anything, he was always there.
Mm-hmm.
Like that was kind of one of our rules. Because back up a little bit, like what you said, hotwifing, to explain it to people who don't know, is usually a woman who's married or in a relationship, I guess, these days. And she gets turned on and her husband gets turned on watching her getting pleasure from another man or men.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a cuck situation.
Right.
That is often confused. If I was sucking any guy's dick and he looked over at my husband and said, "Oh, I bet she loves having a big cock in her mouth for once," or something like that, I would punch him in his fucking dick and we would be gone. Like, it would be like, well, you just ruined that for yourself.
Yeah.
No, mine's more like,
right.
It's more of a stag and vixen type thing, which is the guy gets turned on watching his woman get pleased. The
Mm-hmm.
woman gets turned on with her man watching her get pleased. So, but yeah, so I got introduced to Sandra, and he said, "Yeah, let's give it a try. What can we lose? If anything, we say, fuck it, it's not for us." And that was 3 years ago.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
So yeah, I went from having a very, very vanilla secret freak life in my head, but I was never ever going to tell anyone out of the utmost shame and embarrassment, to now being able and having the freedom to let my freak flag fly.
Well,
as high as I want.
Yeah, secret freak life. I mean, you might have just given us the title of the episode. I love that. That's because so many people have a secret freak life and they don't get to live it out because of shame, or fucking their husband's a fucking moron, or they're just not with the right person, or they're just, they don't want to go to that place because they think whatever. I do want to back up real quick. So you guys went to the club, you were blowing him, other dudes were jerking off. You were like, "Oh my God, this is insane." So can you tell me about the first experience you had with your husband and other men joining in?
Oh, yes. Let me think. So I think that was in the orgy room.
Okay.
at the swingers club. We were up on one of the platforms and some guy tried to come up, and I kind of saw him out of the corner of my eye, enough to see that he was good looking.
Yeah.
And because I'm sorry, but that does make a difference.
Yeah, of course it does. Yeah.
I mean, being attracted to the person, duh. But so I saw he was good looking, and my husband, I heard him say, "No, no, 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 back up. Not right now, dude. Sorry."
Yeah.
And he can be kind of a little dick when he's being protective. But then I went, "Oh, no, 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 it's okay. He can come up." And he's like, "Really? Oh, okay." And he got all excited. And then he's like, "Never mind, dude. She said you could come up." And to this day, that is still my favorite position. Everyone says it's not a position, but spit roasting is a position.
Yeah.
Sorry. I'm in that position. But yeah, so that was the first time. That was only one guy. And then after that, I slowly got comfortable adding more. Cause there's, even though you get the excitement from doing it, there is a difference between fantasy and reality.
Yeah.
And so sometimes I can get turned on by a thought and then I live it in real life. And in that moment, maybe it's not the right person. Maybe it's not the right time. I don't have the right hormone levels. Who fucking knows? But, it doesn't work out in reality. So
sure. Yeah.
you always want to make sure you're actually comfortable with it. But, yeah, I'm getting, I don't even know if I can say I'm getting more comfortable with it. I think I'm there. I think I'm fucking comfortable with it. Now I'm just waiting to do it professionally. That's the one thing I haven't done yet professionally.
Yeah.
That I'm like, what? Why? Where does this happen? Why is
I mean, I'm sure it'll happen. So that first experience where the guy came up and then he waved him off and he came back. like your husband starts banging you from behind, you're blowing this guy, you're insanely turned on. Oh my God, it's actually happening. All of that, right? And you said it's still to this day your favorite experience, which I'm sure you probably fantasize about, which is great, right?
Yes.
That's what life is about. So are they talking about, like, do they switch, are they switching you around, like taking turns, or like you just blew that one guy and then okay, so when it comes time, like, does the guy ask permission to like finish on you, or like how does that, because I think people want to know, like, let's take them to the orgy room, right? They're probably have just crashed their car listening to this after dropping their kids off at school or whatever. But like, so how does that sort of decorum work, right? So he waves him in, like you wave him in, like, no, honey, it's okay, whatever. And so your husband's having sex. When it comes time to like finish, is there like a discussion, or does the guy just like, I would imagine it's just like pop off in your eyes or something?
Oh, I would kill him. No, I don't like gum in my eyes or my ears. That's on my no list.
Yeah.
Don't go in my ears. But no, it is usually more along the lines of the guy saying, "Oh, I'm about to come," or he might ask, "Where do you want me to come?"
Sure.
And I usually just say in my mouth, or like when you're at the club, if we were in the privacy of a hotel room or our bedroom, something like that, then I don't care about the mess. But at the club, other people have to clean that mess up. So,
Right.
if you're on somebody else that's unexpecting, that might not like it too much,
Right,
or
yeah.
and then make people mad, like, dude, you just fucking came on my shoulder, what the fuck. That would be another guy. A girl probably wouldn't care, but yeah, it's usually, "Oh, I'm about to come," or "Where do you want me to come?"
Sure, yeah.
And I'm usually always like, if they're fucking me in my pussy, I say in my pussy. If they're fucking me in my mouth, then I say in my mouth. But
Right.
yeah, I love cum. So I never want it to go to waste.
No, that's great. That's great. So okay, you're okay with facials, but you don't want it in your eyes or your ears.
No, yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
okay with facials.
yeah.
I don't know if it's true. I've heard it's good for your skin.
Well, I mean, does that turn you on, a guy or guys coming on your face?
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, yeah,
I can't wait to do a bukkake one of these days.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, that tracks for sure. How, so in the club, how many guys did it get up to? Like, how many guys did you, and like, how did it, was it your husband the only one having sex with you, or did you start having sex with multiple men, or what?
Yeah. So, at first he was the only one having sex with me, but then, when I got more and more comfortable, it didn't take too long.
Yeah.
I think maybe 4 or 5 times after going to the club, and being sexually active there. But I honestly could not tell you how many guys would be the most, because I didn't count and I was just kind of surrounded.
Yeah.
So, I don't even know. I think I can tell you the most I've counted was 4. And that was a totally different time at a totally different club. And it was, yes, it was 4, because one was in my mouth, one was in my, actually, I think 2 were in my pussy, one was in a hand. And then there was another guy. So maybe it was 5. I don't remember. Anyways, there was one guy who was left out, and he was kind of like jerking himself off slowly, just
Yeah.
watching everything else happen. But I had no more room with how I was.
Sure. Yeah.
And so then someone else would kind of swap him, and they would kind of take turns, sitting on the bench. And afterwards, I looked at my husband and I said, I don't think I want to do it with that many guys, when we're doing it for fun anymore. And he said, "Why not?" And I was like, "Well, I feel bad. I feel bad for the guy jerking off. And it kind of like, I'm preoccupied by it. So then I'm not fully in the moment."
Yeah.
And he goes, "You need to stop caring so much, because I promise you that guy does not give a fuck." And I'm
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
"But I do." But anyways, yeah. So I think the most I could ever count that I actually did, things with all at the same time would have been 4 or 5. But, in the orgy room, the most guys would, it could have been 10, 15. I
Okay.
don't know. I was surrounded and they were just kind of coming up. So
Yeah.
I
So
never once said, "Hey, could all of you stand still for a moment so I can count?" I should have.
you could have, yeah, for
I
sure.
could have.
Yeah,
Yeah. But
absolutely.
yeah, it's quite a few.
So this particular club, so they're coming on you and in you in these particular settings. Okay, are
Hmm.
these people that you know? Are some of them strangers? Or some of them that you know? Like, because people, this is another thing that we should. I don't want. I'm not going to say expose, but like we should educate
No.
people on is some clubs have testing where everyone's tested and all that shit or whatever. So people, you can go without condoms and do whatever,
Right.
and then some other clubs aren't, and it's kind of at your discretion sort of a thing. So if
Yeah.
people are like coming inside of you, like what's your sort of rules for that, right?
Yeah, good question. So before it wasn't really anything. My husband educated me, and him being in the lifestyle for so long. Because at first I'm like, well, how do these people not get all these STDs? Like, how
Yeah.
do they protect themselves? And either they use condoms, or, and if you research this, it actually shows. Uh, the safest community is the lifestyle community when it comes to STDs, because they do get tested more
Mm-hmm.
often. They do take that more seriously. And so a lot of people look at people in the lifestyle like, ooh, they're dirty, blah, 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 just because they don't show maybe a test to, the person each and every time. I do have to do that now. So that's sort of,
Yeah.
what I was talking about earlier, where some of the fun has been taken out. Like, I want my OnlyFans to still be hot wife stuff, but at the same time, now it's not just, oh, I see a hot guy and I'm like, hey, you want to go up to our hotel room and fuck me while my husband watches? Now it's like, oh, hi, my name is Krystal Sparks, and I work in porn, and I think you're really hot. Have you ever thought of being on a porno if it's, making content? Or are you okay with, messing around with us, blah, blah, blah. And we need to pre-plan this, because you're going to have to go get tested
Right.
if you do want to, because I am, I am 100% against someone like myself, getting tested. Like, say, okay, I have 3 shoots next week. So
Mm-hmm.
I get tested Friday. I have shoots Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, but I fuck 20 guys that don't have a clean test Saturday. But
Yeah.
then I'm showing up to this, shoot on Monday saying, oh, I have a fresh test. Well, no, no, I don't.
Right.
Like, I could have all sorts of things by this point that the symptoms aren't even going to show until another couple weeks. Then how many people have I worked with and infected? That's how problems arise in our industry. So
Mm-hmm.
now it is a little, some of the excitement's taken out of it because of that, but
Yeah.
got to
Right.
do what you got to do. And it's still
Sure.
hot.
Yeah, and I work for a company, and we have the Pro 13, which is the only pass certified at home kit. You know what I mean? So you can test at
Uh-huh.
home. You get your results in 24 to 48, and so it's very easy. There's no needles. There's no whatever. You just put this thing on your shoulder, and it's pass certified, so you can work in the
Yeah.
industry. So testing has become a lot easier because of that, right? And so it does become a lot hornier when everybody is fucking safe, right? And for you,
That's what I needed to do.
yeah, for sure. And
Now I just need to buy a bunch of those and start. Here, you
well,
want to fuck me? Go take this and send me the results.
so I have a feeling that I'll pull some strings for you and get you some kits to test out, and you can, yeah, we'll hook you up. We'll hook you up.
I'll review them on social
There you
media.
go. Yeah, for sure. Okay, so you get into porn, right? And like what was your first, do you remember what your first scene was? Was it just a boy girl, or like was it something wild, or
Well, my first scene was with FTV MILFs.
okay.
I won't say where they shoot because I don't know
Are they
what
on the run or
their
something?
thing is there.
Okay.
No, 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 no. Just some states
Oh yeah.
I've heard you're not supposed to shoot in, so I don't want
Right.
to, I'm not getting into all that. But anyways, it was solo, 100%, which was super easy, of course. It it was it was interesting because the woman that was shooting me, she's very experienced, and she's been in the industry for, I don't want to overshoot here, but for quite a while.
Yeah.
She's been doing it. She was shooting and now she's behind the camera. And she only wanted real stuff. Like, she told me to bring my favorite toy, blah, blah, blah. And I'm outside in the backyard. She's going to hear this and know exactly who I'm talking about. I'm outside in the backyard shooting on this hammock. And she tells me, she's like, you've got to be quiet because I have neighbors. But it's really nice outside today. So I want to get this outside. So, but make sure you're not too loud and like porny. And so, we hear that quite often. You'd be surprised.
I know. I just heard that
like,
from
don't
somebody.
Be too loud.
Yeah, I just heard that from somebody else. I'm like, yo, how are you telling a porn star not to be loud?
Yeah. So, discretion is everything, I guess. But they don't want their neighbors to know what they're really up to.
Right.
But yeah. So we're shooting in the backyard. After she's told me to be quiet. She's like, but I want you to have a real orgasm. I was like, oh, well, this toy is magical and that's not going to be a problem. And so I have the quietest orgasm I can because I was just told to be quiet. And then she stops the camera and she goes, don't you bullshit me. You didn't really come. And I was like, this is my first ever professional.
Oh my God.
And I was just like, what? Yes, I did. And she's like, you barely made any noise at all. I was like, you just told me to be quiet.
Yeah.
So she's like, oh, fuck. She's like, don't let me get in your head, girl. Don't let me get in your head. I'm so sorry. She's like, you keep doing you and it's great. And so I was like, of course it got in my head. Like the rest of the shoot, I'm just like, I'm fucking this up. I should just stick with OnlyFans. Like, I'm not a professional. And, but it ended up going really well and she had me back. But the first shoot was supposed to be the casting couch. I can never remember that name.
Well, everybody knows
it's one of the big
casting.
It's one of the big casting couch ones where they have the same background, the same couch for every girl, and it's like all green in the back. And there's one the camera guy, he couldn't show up that day, the normal one. That shoot ended up being canceled, so I had to come back and do it again. But I ended up fucking the camera guy for the thing, and I just kept thinking the whole time, like, is this how it's supposed to be? Like, is this guy just having girls? Like, is this a real, like, fake casting couch thing? Is this even legit? And because I'm like, the camera guy doesn't fuck the talent, right? That's not how it works. So I'm like, great, I'm going to be abducted. And, but I still sucked his cock and fucked him, and it was really good. But yeah, my first two were completely solo. So I think it was kind of a cheat.
Sure.
My first professional shoot was with Team Skeet, J-Rock, with, other people. J-Rock, I'm sure you've heard of him.
Yeah.
Fabulous director. Love him. Him and then Ryan King.
Okay.
Which now I've worked with him like 20 times, I think. But yeah, so it was super easy. They were very, very nice. And Ryan King he's very well endowed. And so he was the one that taught me a lot as far as and I do quite often. But Ryan, he's way too big for me. But, I didn't never know that they don't always push it all the way in. And even though on camera it looks like during that shoot. So after that, it was just game on.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
that's awesome. Well, yeah. And you said earlier, like, that you prefer, dudes that aren't massive dicks or whatever the fuck. And so that
give me a 5-incher and you're bottoming me out. Like, I'm not even kidding. People are like, oh, thanks, you're telling me I have a small penis. And I'm like, no, it's huge to my vagina.
See, this is what I mean about the fucking nobody cares, bro. Just whatever. So So yeah, that's full circle. So what kind of scenes have you done? I mean, have you done like multiple guys yet? Have you done like for mainstream? Have you done like a DP, or have you done anal?
No, all of my stuff has been complete, as far as I am concerned,
Sure.
completely vanilla,
Okay.
completely. And that's why I'm like, yeah, I haven't had a scene with two guys. I haven't had anal. Although I did just start doing anal really, like it's just got added to my yes list not too long ago. I wanted to introduce things slowly. Um, I think I just listened to your podcast episode and I love her so much. And of course I saw her name, so that's the one I listened to first, Cherie DeVille,
Okay, yeah.
where she was like, I know some girls, they kind of wait for certain things and drag it on, and she didn't. She just kind of went off for it.
Yeah.
Which I was given the opposite advice. I was told,
Sure.
start with this, then add this a year later, then this a year later, keep your fans wanting more, and new things. But now I'm into my third year and I still haven't done MFM or MMF or double badge. I love double badge. Love, 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 love. I would do that the first day, but I haven't even been offered.
Yeah.
Anal, again, just kind of started doing that. I love anal in my personal life, so it'll be interesting to see how it goes professionally.
Sure. Yeah.
Because I know it's different.
Yeah.
But no, everything I have done, this is for all you directors and producers out there who want to freak on your set. Krystal Sparks. I'm dying for it. And yeah, we'll see when it happens, I guess.
So like deep, have you done DP in your personal life? Like double penetration? Okay. Sure, yeah.
But no, and that's only been with my husband. I've done double badge with other guys, but not professionally. So
yeah.
But
So
I bet it's more fun because they know what they're doing.
Well, yeah, that's like exactly, right? And that's the like advantage of being in porn, is you get to live out all your fantasies in a controlled environment with people who are fucking professional, right? So DP, anal, gangbang, blowbang, I mean, are these things that you want to do in mainstream coming up? Do you think that you'll accomplish any of that in 2025, or are we looking at 2026?
If I have anything to do with it, I will. I've already been talking to some directors like, hey, I'm doing anal, right? And a few of them would be like, oh, really? That's good to know. Like, I'll have you back for anal. So I see that happening in 2025. I'm just kind of spreading the word. Like, don't you guys ever do this stuff? Don't you ever do that stuff? Like, come on. And it is interesting to me that I'm so publicly a fucking freak, but sexually. I'm probably a freak just in every way too, but sexually. And I hear girls that are like, oh, my first shoot was a gangbang and, it wasn't really my thing, blah, blah, blah. I was like, well, what do you mean it wasn't your thing? It's not your thing and you did it? I was like, you shouldn't be taking stuff away from people that actually want that. Because if you said no, maybe they would have called me.
Right.
So I don't know.
Well,
but yeah.
Yeah, we're going to do our best to clip as much of this as possible to put out there for the directors and the producers to see that you are, get this woman some more cock. What the hell?
Give me some jack.
for real. You're literally asking for it. What the fuck?
Yes.
Okay, so we're here at the end of the episode. I'm wondering, because I love to do this, but I love to do it even more when I have, intelligent, fun guests who have gone through what you've gone through and your life experience. Let's say there's someone out there who is where you were at, right? They're a horny freak in their brain, but they're like, no, that's just me being a horny freak in my brain, right? But maybe they do want to try to live out hotwifing, or they do want to like bring a couple guys home, or mix shit up, or get into OnlyFans, or get into porn. What advice would you give to those women who want to try this stuff?
Yeah, so great question again. I actually answer this question quite often for real life women. So what I learned, I didn't just hearing from how my parents were with sex, with the subject of sex. Now we know that's very toxic
Yeah.
and it's just not healthy. So I feel like a lot of women are raised in ways where they're told it's bad, where if they want to be a slut, we do not slut shame in my house. Like that is my number one rule. If a girl wants to be a hoe, let her fucking hoe it out. Does it affect you? Is it any of your business? We don't do that here. So I always tell people, just like kind of what my husband told me, because I thought that the reason I had these fantasies and these dark sexual thoughts, whatever, was because of the trauma that I experienced as a child. And they do say that a lot of times trauma is what makes that, whatever happen. But there's nothing wrong with that. We're taught there is something wrong with that. And that means that something is broken inside of you. That's not normal. No, that's how your brain was wired. And that's just who you are and how you are now. So why deprive yourself of what is really going to fulfill you?
Yeah.
Like if someone is judging you for that, and even, I'm sorry to say it, but if it's your husband or your wife judging you for that's supposed to be the one person that's there for you without any judgment. And they're supposed to want to explore these things with you. And so I'm sorry, but that really sucks. And maybe that's something you should think about because, that's a whole different episode.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I just say embrace it, go slowly and safely if you're brand new at it. It's nice to have someone in your corner telling you like, hey, it's okay, you're not a weirdo. But if you don't, just know that you're a human being with completely normal urges, and it's healthy to have a sexual appetite. I wouldn't break any laws because no one wants to go to jail, but safely.
Yeah.
Safely, ladies. Be a hoe safely. But there's nothing wrong. There's the slut shaming in our society has ruined it.
Yeah.
There's absolutely nothing wrong with me having sex with whoever I want, whenever I want, however I want. And there's nothing wrong with you doing it either, ladies.
Krystal Sparks, thank you so much for being with me on the show. I think that was fucking incredible advice. I think sluts and hoes make the world go round. I think we need to celebrate them instead of fucking putting our fucking our boots on their neck in a non-consensual way. Like y'all need to
Right.
need to stop that.
If you turn me on, that's okay.
Exactly right, like with consent. So come on.
Right.
Let's tell these horny party going sons of bitches that are listening, and all the hoes and sluts that are listening, and we love all of you, right? Where can they all find you on not only social media, but where can they go and just like dump out buckets of cash like all over you on the internet?
Well, the easiest place is my website, krystalsparks.com, spelled with a K and a Y, Krystal. I missed the mark on the triple X with the sparks. So it's just SPARKS. Everyone's like, is it triple X? No, just an S. Yeah, that has all my links and everything there. But X, formerly known as Twitter. It will always be Twitter to me.
Me
but
too. I'm not calling it
everyone.
X. Yeah.
That's Krystal Sparks 87. Instagram is PS for porn star Krystal Sparks, and my OnlyFans is just Krystal Sparks. So
amazing. And the notes are telling me, they're whispering to me that you will be with us at Exotica here in Chicago coming up. So everyone
I am planning on it.
should come and find her and give her
come and find
attention and money and all the things. I would love to have you back. Everything you shared was incredible. You were a fucking great guest. I'm lucky to have great guests like you. So I'd love to have you back in the future. And thanks for being with me this week. And until then, see you soon.
Thanks for having me.
Of course.
Yeah, keep slutting out there. Bye.
Bye. Big thank you to my guest, Krystal Sparks, for being with me on the show this week. Make sure you guys go over to her social media and follow her everywhere. But also, and more importantly, go spend some money on her OnlyFans. If you are watching from the porn industry, if you're a director, producer, talent, agent, whatever, give Krystal some wilder scenes. She's literally asking for some wilder scenes. And there you go. If you guys are loving guests like Krystal, if you want to see her again, she will be back in the future, but you're really just loving Sex Party so much and you want to show that love, that appreciation, that desire, that thirst for more Sex Party, what can you do? Well, if you're listening to this on platforms like Apple and Spotify, you could leave a rating, you could leave a review. Those things are wonderful and nice, and I appreciate them so, so much. I will read them 10,000 times to myself alone in a bus station. Have no idea what that means. But listen, don't waste your time, okay? What you really want to do is make sure you're subscribed to the show. It's very simple. You click subscribe. It takes you 2 seconds. I get you as a subscriber. It means the world to me. You never miss an episode of Sex Party every single Wednesday. If you're watching on YouTube, I love you. I see you. I appreciate you. If you're watching on YouTube, have you ever thought about or have you ever done any sort of hot wifing or swinging, swapping, anything? Let me know in the comments. Remember, you're on YouTube. Don't get us all canceled, but let us know in the comments. It's just me here. Let me know in the comments. If you are watching on YouTube and you want to make sure that you never miss a new episode of Sex Party every single Wednesday, what can you do to show that and some love, some appreciation? You could like this video. You could like all the videos. You could leave a positive comment. You could leave a negative comment. I will still get back to you. We'll go back and forth. It'll be awesome. But you really, 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 really want to make sure that you subscribe to the channel so you never miss a new episode every single Wednesday. As always, I'm available in the DMs on Instagram, and I will see you all right back here next week.
Thanks for listening. The party continues next week. Click subscribe and let's make this a regular thing. Follow the show on Instagram and Twitter at SexPartyFM. Follow Dustin at Dustin Rybka.